Welcome back to Sports Dump, Lewis County's only sports podcast, sponsored by our friends at Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery, Global Septic, and Americool Heating and Cooling. I'm Aaron Van Tile, joined tonight by Chronicle sports editor Josh Kirschenbaum, Chronicle sports reporter Dylan Wilhelm, and Chronicle sports clerk Kody Christian.
Diligent student, Chronicle
who is in the middle of taking an online statistics test as we record.
I didn't think we were going to make that public information.
Come
on.
Luckily, this is a one-way podcast, so you can't, respond with answers for him. Mm-hmm. But we'll leave Kody alone for a few minutes while he finishes up his test, which
but if you have tips for him, his email is cody@cronline.com. If you want to give him some extra tutoring.
Binomial distribution, please.
Yeah. Send up some of those statistics notes that I'm sure you all have.
Any fun facts about Z-square?
Hey, Casey Johnson always preached, you got to be a student first.
He was correct.
Them kids up in Raymond learning that now.
Mm-hmm. Damn straight they are. So we are
at the end of the season.
Already.
Yeah.
Does it always wrap up before Halloween?
They grow up so fast. Yes, it does.
All right. Well, if you say so. Anyway, your first prompt here, Josh. Did you write the notes? Or was this Dylan?
No,
Dylan wrote these?
This is Josh.
Neither of you wants to take credit for this. All right, fine.
I wrote them.
Take your test.
Cody got distracted during his statistics test. It was like, are we really sure we need 3 leagues for the 15 to-be teams? And this is a valid question.
Yes. I agree with Josh.
You agree with Cody's mid-test ramblings? Truly the takes of a madman here. Last week's results first. Napavine beat Raymond South Bend 56-12. The Tigers fell behind 6-0 for the second straight week. And for the second straight week, they went at halftime up by at least 4 possessions.
Slow starts. I don't know about this Napavine group.
Are we sure they're in postseason form?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Giving up I think they gave up a scoop and score on like the first play of the game or something.
Ugh. You know what?
Ball security.
That's pretty similar to what happened against Kalama, too.
It's exactly. Well, it's not quite. Kalama, they fumbled the opening kickoff. And
how many points per game are they averaging over this giving up a touchdown first? Like,
it's
60?
Cody's the statistics guy. 70 plus 54 divided by 2.
I can't tell you that. I can tell you the probability of them doing it next week, though.
63 is what they're averaging. Kody, get back to us on that. Cale Kelly ran 6 times for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cale Stanley, I can't get over the fact that there's 2 kids named Cale on Napavine, and they both spell their names wrong.
Yeah, we call it the Garden.
That's pretty good. Cale Stanley ran 6 times for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ashton Demarest passed for 141 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also ran 9 for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. James Gross, remember him
from basketball? Yeah.
Can't wait to see him play basketball.
Aaron's like, hurry up the football season. I just want to see James Gross play basketball again and score points.
He plays the game the right way, okay?
By shooting a lot?
We'll get to that later. 4 catches, 104 yards, and Napavine outgained the
Ravens.
Yep. I was going to Riverhawks or Seagulls, and it's like somewhere in the middle. 506 to 152. They're 3-0 in 2B North League play. They play 2-1 Forks for the division title Thursday. I guess it would be for the division title, technically, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And they did not play that game last year. I don't remember why Forks had to back out, but they played them twice in 2021 and won both of those games by 60 points.
But you wouldn't say Forks forfeited. Maybe the districts agreed to. We'll get to that later. Onalaska 60, add to 12. Sorry, Maz. Caden Mazingo ran 16 times for 214 yards and 4 touchdowns for the Loggers. Rodrigo Rodriguez, 16 carries, 147, 2 touchdowns. And Blaze Underhill, 3 carries, 133 yards and 2 touchdowns. For Adna, Lane Johnson was 15 of 29 in passing for 164 yards and 2 scores. Both of them went to Gavin Muller. Onalaska, are we sure they're good? Dylan?
Tell the story about Mass.
They're pretty good.
It was a play call.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Run it again.
I was surprised to see this game on the notes. For some reason, this game feels like 3 weeks ago, even though it was just last Friday. So there was, I forgot which touchdown. Essentially, it was a 2-play drive. The first play was a Rodrigo Rodriguez 9-yard run. And you could hear Maz, I'm sure everyone in attendance heard, run it again. Just The same play. They get to the line. They run it again. 50-plus yard touchdown.
Hell yeah.
Just talking to him after, he's like, yeah, we saw something we liked. We just missed one block, and then we just did it again, and we got the block. And it was just that type of night. Blaze Underhill, you mentioned his 2 touchdowns were 2 63-yard touchdowns on the exact same play call. Those weren't back-to-back, but it was just that kind of night where we're going to keep doing it till you stop us, and they never stopped him.
So I like the insinuation by run it again as if that was like so out of the question. Like, were they all going to run their other play? It's like Onalaska. I love Onalaska, but let's not act like their playbook is just pages long.
Well, they clearly have 3 guys they can give it to.
It's true. But do
could
they
have at least
like
pretended to hand it off to
do
someone
they hand
else?
it off a different way, or do they just have the guys line up in different spots?
Yeah, statistically speaking, you can either go left, right, or up the middle. So that's 3 different directions for 3 different. That's 9 plays right there.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess they have that one where they throw it.
Yeah.
Like, did the entire Adna defense just think Maz was like trying to cook up a trick play, and they weren't actually running the same play when he announced it?
It's like there's no way he's serious.
If the opposing coach announced the same play, like, where you think you're going to go on defense? Come on.
Shout out to the guard for making the adjustment, getting to his spot on time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good tidbit and a fun flex.
Exactly.
Where's Onalaska at in the standings?
We'll
or are
get
we
there.
getting to this? We'll get to that. Okay.
We'll
Kalama beat Toledo 36-29
This was the only good game.
What is this, like the battle for second?
We'll get to that.
All right, God. Ethan Carver, that's Ethan with 2 E's. 2 touchdowns, 50 yards. Carter Swafford, 56 rushing yards. Aiden Brown scored all of Kalama's touchdowns.
He's good.
He's the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
How old is he? Senior?
I think he's a junior, maybe a sophomore.
Yeah.
All right. With the result and Onalaska's win, Kalama wins the South, and Onalaska is second, Toledo third, and Adna fourth. Onalaska, Kalama, and Toledo are all in the same. For crying out loud. Kalama plays Adna this week, but there's nothing on the line. Toledo and Ani both have non-league games. Hope you enjoyed the league season for one of the most anticipated divisions in the state while it lasted, because 2 weeks after it started, it is over.
It's bad. It's not great.
4-team
Do
divisions.
we have a sad trombone button? We don't, do we?
We do. If you want to.
There it is.
That was it. Yep.
There we go.
Gets me in the fall mood, though. It's a good accident.
Spooky season.
Yeah, no, this is what you get when you have 14. I mean, a 4-team league, there was 1 week this season where there were multiple games in the 2B South.
It's not enough.
Right? There were 3 weeks where 2 teams played each other, and the other 2 teams have non-leagues, and 1 week, which was last week, where everybody was in league play. So there's no like movement. There's no like big swings. I mean, there are big swings because every game is so huge, because you can be 2-1 and they're out of it already, which is kind of what happened last week. But yeah, it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
All right. Agreed. Another game. Forks 21, Peel Willapa Valley 18. Titans had a chance to take the lead on the last play of the game, but the pass fell incomplete. Nate Fluke, 19 of 38 passing. He threw 38 passes?
I feel
Good
like
for him.
I feel like if PWV throws the ball 38 times, something isn't going right.
Yeah, I don't think they want to be doing that.
Yeah. Though Blaine King, 10 catches, 236 yards, 2 touchdowns. So something went right there.
Yeah. Blake Howard, 10 rushes for 99 yards.
Yeah.
Forks, are they good?
Forks is probably okay. We got people were mad that we weren't saying more about PWV. They were mad that we didn't say they scored 3 touchdowns, and we have said that they've scored 3 touchdowns.
And
now we have.
Yeah.
This is a game where...
And they almost won, I think. Yeah, as you said, they got the ball down 3 with a couple minutes left and drove all the way down the field.
Just like the previous week.
And this time they were incomplete. Didn't Nate Smith say there was possible PI in the end zone? Something like that? I don't remember.
But I do want to note the importance of having a kicker in high school. Obviously, we don't see it all the time, but the 3 extra points ended up being the difference. And like you said, Willapa Valley got all the way down, had to go for 7 instead of going for the tie. Mm-hmm. So that's not an indictment on PWV. There's not a lot of high school teams, especially at the 2B level with kickers. But
that's a segue into the next game. Holy shit.
Wakaigum 21, Rainier 12. Before we get going, where was this game played?
Rainier. I was there.
before this gets going, speaking of Wakaika, I had like some CBS sports show on in the background today, and Brady Quinn, remember Brady Quinn?
Yeah.
Chiefs
He was-
legend.
Yeah, Chiefs legend was on the screen, and he was talking about whoever the Seahawks are playing this week, and he goes, "Well, you know, they got to go up to Seattle, and that's a tough place to play." And I was like, "You son of a bitch." Anyway,
He said the thing.
Wakaika 21, Rainier 12. The Mountaineers threw 2 picks, were flagged for 4 personal fouls. That's more than you need.
Yeah, it was Chippy. It was Chippy. I joked on Twitter, like we talk about the Mossy Nacelle 100-mile rivalry. Cathlamet is 91 miles away from Rainier, but it was kind of the same. I don't really understand what those two schools have against each other, if anything, but they were going at it really from the first, and there was a whole lot of extracurriculars that was not great.
All right, sounds cool. The Mules took the lead in the 4th and sealed it with special teams.
They
Christopher Gray, 14 carries for 119 yards. How did they seal it? Was there anything exciting? Or?
So this was in a game that they won by 9 points, the Wakaika Special Teams Day started with a 65-yard punt and ended with a punt that got downed inside the 1. And in between that, Wakaika pulled an onside kick, blocked a punt, had another punt that Rainier muffed, and made the extra point on both of their first 2 touchdowns. So they led 14-12 because Rainier doesn't have a kicker and couldn't get the 2-point conversions. Rainier trailed 14-12 late, got the ball inside, took a kick back to the 9-yard line, didn't have a kicker, couldn't kick the field goal to go ahead, ended up going for it on 4th and goal, didn't get it, and Wakaika promptly pulled 2 plays later, had an 84-yard touchdown. I really hope that's not important, whatever you pulled out of something there.
I don't even know what it is, so I'm not going to comment on it.
Is that a USB drive or a vape? I couldn't tell.
I think it's a part of a vape.
Yeah, it's a part of a vape.
Is this part of your statistics test?
No,
What are they
I'm done with the
teaching you in
statistics
Centralia?
test.
How'd you do?
78%.
Well,
out of
It's a C
I'll
plus.
take it. The last question for a statistics test. How good is that?
What do you mean?
Well, it's a percentage, right?
It's a 78%.
Yeah, is that good?
It's passable.
It's passing.
Goodbye.
Don't cheat
I'm sorry.
for him.
Don't help him.
It's a C, as if that's what you're asking.
Part of this statistics test should be justifying your grade once you get
Exactly,
it as like
that's what
good
I'm
or
saying.
bad. Anyway,
Understanding percentages.
all right, Wakaika beat Rainier. Morton White Pass lost to Cedar Park Christian in somewhere. There was no
Randall,
stats.
but no stats were reported.
Oh, this was a rant. This wasn't like we're playing in Temecula or whatever. So the standings and scenarios. The C2BL South, which is a thing I keep forgetting exists, is set. Number 1 is Kalama. Number 2 is Onalaska. Number 3 is Toledo. Number 4 is Adna. The C2BL North, Napavine and Forks are in 1st and 2nd place.
They play for 1st and 2nd place.
They are playing for 1st and 2nd place. It hasn't been determined yet.
That's
It's
tomorrow.
totally up in the air.
Yeah, no clue what's going to happen.
Nobody knows.
Well, I do know Napavine will likely turn the ball over within the first 5 minutes.
Oh, there it is.
If anything's like the last 2 weeks.
Yes. PL Valley is 3rd, and the winner of Raymond South Bend and Morton White Pass is 4th. Just realized Raymond South Bend and Morton White Pass are in the same division.
Yeah. Because they're close to each other.
Whatever. The distance from. What are we doing?
Also, that game's going to be in Randall, and I was pointing this out to Dylan. I like the best part of home field advantage for them is that you've got your school that you host at, and then when you really kind of want to piss off the other team, you've got your school even further away that you can move the game to.
Well, the school in Randall is the better field.
Yeah, but it's also a 20-minute drive further into the mountains.
Yeah, I guess.
30 minutes. I don't know.
Sure.
I am right.
And then in the West Division, somehow Rainier is in the West Division while Raymond South Bend is not. Look at a map, guys. Come on. Wakaika is 1st at 4-0, and Rainier is 2nd at 3-1. Who else is in this division?
Ilwaco,
That's
North
West.
Beach,
Kind of West.
Costa.
Okay. Yeah, they're all West
Tootle.
other than Rainier. Tootle?
It's the lower division, right? They just
Sure.
needed
Call it the West.
I think they should ditch the directional
I think they should
description.
too.
Just
I was
come up with
looking
something better.
The 1A's,
District 1, District 2.
the 1A Emerald Sound Conference has 2 divisions, and they're named after salmon. They've got the Coho division and the Chinook division. I think that's great.
So we just do like types of game or what?
Yeah, something like that.
Sure, like
Elk conference.
yeah, like moose, elk, and then like rabbit for
Yeah.
the lower division. Maybe
Kody-
not moose. I guess there's not a lot of moose around.
Cody just mentioned like offhandedly like District 1, District 2. I mentioned this to Josh like randomly. Nevada 5A is split into 3 districts kind of by level of play, and they're doing it to where it's kind of pro rel soccer style to where you can play your way up
Yeah,
into
I like
a higher
that.
division and then you move down like you kind of every year.
relegated and
Yeah.
Yeah, relegation would be
That's
cool.
kinda cool.
But yeah, I mean, if you go like elk, coyote, rabbit,
Well, the 2
who
are
says no?
the top 2 are supposed to be equal, but yeah, I like that. It's a good. We come
Right.
up with that. We could name them after I don't know trees.
We just named them. They're
Okay,
good. Well,
sounds
we've
good.
solved this problem. We're moving on.
I like it.
Somebody called it WIA.
How badass would it? How
But
badass
also-
would a T-shirt be that says Coyote League champions, man?
Yeah, that'd be sick.
But also, like, yeah, and the idea of a pro rel, if you had like the top, the whole point is you don't need 2 top leagues. You should have the league, the higher league and then the lower league, and have both of them be. You have one is 8 and one is 17. 1 8 team, 1 7 team, and like
Yeah.
if you just have like the top 2 go up the next year and the bottom 2 go down, like that would work.
Yeah, I think that sounds cool.
So yeah, get into the crossover because the whole point of the West is that they get to play a crossover into the crossover.
So the crossovers on Tuesday will be Wahkiakum versus Adna. That's the West 1 versus the South number 4. And then Rainier, the West 2, plays
Whoever
the North 4, which is either Morton White Pass or Raymond South Bend. That's
whoever wins that game, yeah.
probably Raymond South Bend,
Probably.
maybe?
Did we ever figure out where these games are?
And we don't know where these games are played.
All right. And then Friday and or Saturday, the Wahkiakum Adna winner will play at the Napavine Forks winner. The Toledo will play at the Napavine Forks loser. Oh, so Toledo could be going to Forks for crossover?
Yep.
What? I don't know if I like that. PL Valley will play at Onalaska. That's, you know what? That's rational.
You know why it's not rational?
Why?
Because they play this week.
What? God damn it. And then either Rainier, Morton White Pass, or Raymond South Bend will play at Kalama.
Yeah, Mavs wasn't happy. So they go to PL and they play at PL, and then they know that they're playing in the crossover the next week. There's like 10 things happening in 2B football, and none of them are like maybe 2 of them are good.
To be clear, I do not have a suggestion to fix this, but I don't like what's happening.
I've always said, I think, again, if you have one upper league and one lower league, and assuming that things stay the same where the top of District 4 is just going to be the top of the state, which is probably going to be true for a while, I still think they should do a league like a district championship, and have the top 2 teams play each other solely for a trophy. Both teams are already through. And then after that, you have a couple play-in games. But like, the 2B crossovers are, I don't know the last time there's been a good one involving a district, like the 1 seeds, right? Like we've had more times that a team has a 4 seed has forfeited the crossover than actually them playing a good game.
Are you talking about a few years ago when Kalama was ducking Owako?
No, Iwaka was ducking Kalama.
Yeah, Kalama was ducking Owako. They didn't want to play him. They were
Okay.
scared.
It also
so they talked Owako into just not playing the game.
It also happened last year, remember?
Did it happen last
It
year?
did happen last
I
year.
made that joke on Twitter like 4 years ago.
That was the second. Iwako has made 2 crossovers in the past 3 years, and it has forfeited both of them.
Can't imagine making the crossover and then just going, well, boys.
Ended
time
on
for
a high
basketball."
note.
Good season.
Yeah. If you had just like, I don't know, I said the top 2 seeds play each other. The 3rd team out of the higher division plays the winner of the lower division. And then like 4 in the higher plays 5 in the higher division. And they go through. Like, I don't know, something like
Checks
that.
out. Vote Josh Kirschenbaum for WIA Council 2024.
Or just District 4 coordinator, chair.
Yeah, I mean, one of the.
Just have Casey Johnson on one side and Josh Fay on the other.
Yeah. So much tension. The
Advisors.
one of them used like the 1As used to do where the top team in each league automatically goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Simple times. All right. This podcast brought to you by Gobel Septic, providing septic service and portable sanitation.
If you have a mess of a postseason situation and you just need to get rid of it.
Yeah. Providing portable sanitation and septic service for Thurston, Lewis, Mason, Cowlitz, and Grays Harbor counties. And Dylan, you were telling us that somebody
Very special to you.
in your life,
your heart.
Shout out Lauren. Unfortunately, I am now remembering that they don't serve Pierce County up north.
but if they did,
But if they did, I would and I did refer them to Global Septic for a portable porta potty. Say
what
that 10
was
times
the
fast.
situation they needed? They were having a party, your birthday
They-
party or something?
Halloween party, just costume party, and last year their septic tank got a little backed up with all the people that were there. So
Do you have something you want to tell us?
Just
A little confession to make.
just that his girlfriend's parents throw a banging Halloween party,
Yeah.
apparently.
Are we
Hell
are we
yeah.
all gonna get invites to this, Dylan?
I don't know if it's happening. They were supposed to go to Mexico, but a hurricane hit. So
So Hurricane Dylan hit their bathroom and they canceled it. Global Septic providing septic pumping inspection and riser installation, commercial septic pumping, and of course, grease trap services. And as Dylan mentioned, they will rent you a porta potty or a portable sink. Visit Global Septic, GOEBEL septic.com, or give them a call, 360-736-2167. We move now to the 2As, where there is a real league football schedule. Tumwater blew out Rochester 54-6 and wins the EVCO title. Ethan Kastner was 5-7 passing for 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. David Malroy caught 2 touchdown passes, and they ran for 338 yards. Tate Cornstrom had 93 yards for Rochester, and Mason Armstrong had 84 with a touchdown. Tumwater preps for the Pioneer. Nope. The Pioneer Bowl has been canceled, so there's nothing up next for Tumwater.
They're actually playing a non-league game.
Tahoma?
for a
Tacoma?
Tahoma.
Or Tacoma.
They are playing. So,
Is Black Hills just done then?
Black Hills is just done. Black Hills, they just don't have enough players, apparently.
yeah, so Black Hills is
They're-
forfeited this weekend's Pioneer Bowl, and Tumwater has scheduled a game with Tahoma? 4A Tahoma?
Yeah.
At home Friday?
At home Friday.
Okay. So that's what they're doing to prep. They will face the Greater St. Helens League number 4 team in the crossover next week. Rochester is still the EVCO number 4 and will play the GSHL champ. Do we know who that is yet?
No, we don't. There's, I think, Ridgefield and Woodland are both tied atop the standings. Rochester's also done because they've got the Tenino rivalry game coming up this week, so that's why we know where they're at.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a pretty normal Tumwater result. Talking to Willie Garrow afterwards, he actually was really complimentary of Rochester and was like, basically, they know what they're doing and they do it really well. I think it was 14-0, like late in the second quarter, and then Tumwater just did the Tumwater thing where they scored a touchdown, got a turnover, scored on the next play of the play, got another turnover, and then scored on a 2-minute drive to put it out of reach.
6-0 at the end of the first quarter. I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kody was there.
Yeah, I mean, it's at least for the first quarter and a half, Rochester was actually moving the ball. They just couldn't convert near the red zone. They had I think 3 times I saw where they fumbled and got positive yardage from it. So I mean, hey, whatever works for Tumwater, you got to try everything, right? But
Rochester seems to be kind of the old school Ani mode where you know what they're doing. They're running power. As soon as they get into out of progression and into second and long, they're a little bit screwed.
Yeah, but with the Ani thing, it also plays in that they it just takes that one defender
Exactly.
to miss, and they got a 50-yard run. They just can break it when you least expect it.
So
And that did happen once or twice, but Tumwater always caught up to him.
and that's, I don't think anybody out of the GSHL. There's no Tumwater in the GSHL. There hasn't been for a while, right? It's kind of like the 2Bs, right? The North champ is Napavine, probably, and
there's still
exactly.
Forks is listening.
Oh, shout out to all our Forks listeners.
Schwartz.
Dave Montgomery, and Jordan Allen.
Yeah. Ron Brown, maybe.
But the difference between them and, last year at Toledo, this year Kalama, right? That's a different ask. You send a Rochester team to good but not incredible 3A caliber, 4A caliber GSHL team. That's a recipe for an upset there. I think if I'm Rochester, I have to really feel good about where I'm at, even though some of the fans weren't. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. WF West 41, Aberdeen 14. Are the Bearcats back? I guess they never went anywhere. Gage Brumfield was 17 of 26 passing for 292 yards and 4 touchdowns. I assume those are both season highs?
Not the 4 touchdowns, probably the passing yards.
Tucker Land caught 3 of those for 68 yards and a touchdown. He also ran 3 times for 47 yards. Get that kid some more touches.
Yeah, he's kind of stepped out. He was their lead back last year, and they've kind of slotted more to Declan McDonald, mostly because Dan Hill was saying they want to get Land more touches out of the slot, and their receiving core is really deep, so it's kind of they have to spread the ball around. But yeah, they probably want to get him the ball more. He'll probably see as they start playing bigger and better teams, a lot more touches for him kind of on screens.
All right. They were up 28-0 at halftime. They scored multiple touchdowns in the first half for the first time this season.
Best start.
And they clinched second place in the EFCO. They will host a crossover no matter the result of the Swamp Cup, which is coming Friday somewhere in Centralia. Centralia or Chehalis? Is it Chehalis? Speaking of the Swamp Cup.
Hit those air horns.
You know what? We're not just going to hit the air horns. There we go. That's right.
Still wish I had headphones.
Yeah, poor Kody over there just taking it. He's just got homework and no headphones. It's just the best
Pressing silent buttons to me.
The worst of both worlds. Centralia beat Hoquiam.
They won.
13-6. Stop the clock. 735 days. They did it. Hell yeah. Good for Centralia. So happy to see it.
Yeah. Honestly, great. And of course, it was out in Hoquiam, so we have no photos.
That's unfortunate. But we're sure it happened.
It definitely happened.
Did talk with Rookledge.
Good.
Yes.
Good for
Rookledge
them.
confirmed. Obviously, just psyched for the guys. You know, Rookledge kind of knew coming in that it was going to be a tough year record-wise. But, I mean, they have seemed to be getting better, even though it hasn't obviously been reflected in the wins column until now. But, yeah, just stoked for the guys.
Yeah, that's great.
Centralia on a hot streak going into the Swamp Cup.
On a heater.
I mean, this is the first time they've gone into the Swamp Cup coming off a win in
A while.
probably a while.
Yeah.
Centralia gained 208 yards on the ground, led by 147 from Kellen Rookledge, who scored the go-ahead touchdown in the fourth.
Sorry.
It was tied 7-7. That sounds improbable.
That's wrong. They were up by that point. But
They were up 7-6 at one point, and then Dustin Ingles grabbed an interception to give Centralia the ball back with 4 minutes to go. The Tigers ran the rest of the game down. Good for Centralia.
Yep.
You know, just legitimately happy.
Yeah.
Sounded like a perfect execution of like a late 4-minute offense where you got the ball, put the ball on the ground, get the ball to Kellen Rookledge, and don't let him get it back. And it sounded like, if I remember correctly, they were inside the 5 when they ended up kneeling it down. So they could have scored another touchdown, but obviously opted to just let it roll.
Yeah. And then the other game we have, Black Hills lost to Shelton 34-20, and their season was finished. Sometime, you know what, guys? One time back in October, you and your friends took the field for the last time, not knowing it was the last time.
Yeah.
Black Hills
Also,
season
they're-
done.
Rest easy, my sweet prince.
Feel that?
My sleeper pick.
Black Hills.
Yeah, it was.
I thought you were going to say Shelton.
No.
All right.
Yeah, they just ran out of bodies. I mean, they had this last year. Black Hills, we've talked about, they're always low on numbers, and it just takes a spate of injuries. They had to take a pause last year, and they managed to get back. But yeah, apparently they're down to low teens, and you can't really play football with that few players.
How is everyone else's sleeper teams doing?
I've already forgotten who mine was if I had one.
So 9-0 has won 2 of 3 after starting 0-5.
And they're in the crossover. We'll get to them.
My sleeper team Rainier is going to do great in the 8-man playoffs.
It's 11 man. They've already beaten one of the teams they could play.
This podcast brought to you by Elam's Home Furnishings and Sleep Center. Locally owned, family owned, and here to stay. Did you guys know Elam's also has a location in Longview? So if you're down there covering a game, maybe hanging out with your boys from the Daily News, Josh, you used to reside down there occasionally.
I did use
one of your 3 homes was there, I believe.
Yeah, back when I I could have used them to get furniture because my place in Longview was pretty dire.
Well,
lawn chair and a TV on the floor.
You think I had a TV?
You set a laptop to watch game film?
I had a hole in the ceiling in
Air
that
mattress.
place.
That sounds awesome.
It was not.
How about some office furniture? You guys need any office furniture? some storage and shelving, some desks, some chairs.
One of these days, Cody's gonna get tired and throw you through this table he's working at. So then we're gonna need
He
another
does have a
table.
little nice.
It's growing on me, It's
The Bills play tomorrow. We could give it a proper tribute, like here in the office.
Just toss somebody through a table.
that can be what we do if the Instagram hits 1,000 followers.
Yeah, you know what? I'll agree to that. You can throw Dylan through a
Send
table.
Dylan, Dylan can go through the table.
I'm old and frail. It'll never work. Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery. Anything you need for any room in your home, stop by and see them at 1530 South Gold Street in Centralia, or check out their showroom online at elamshf.com. Moving on to the 1As. Tonight we got blown out by Montesano, 42-0. They finished the league season a week early at 2-2, but they're guaranteed third place in what they're calling a league, the 1A Evergreen. You know what? I've said it the last few weeks. Too many leagues.
There are too many leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, and you look at, like, kind of going to the other sports, like there's the Central 2B League in soccer, and there is no Pacific. There's just, like, 12 teams in the Central 2B League, and instead of playing a district tournament, they just play a league tournament.
Just call it the B League at that point.
Like, you might as well just combine the Trico and the Evco, or the Evergreen, and you'd have 10 schools that could play a real schedule against each other.
Yeah.
But those snobs down in Vancouver probably just don't want it.
Well, how far would they have to go?
It would also require somebody going from White Salmon to Hoquiam.
I was going to say, that's a beautiful drive. I mean, you really get to see, like, the best of Washington waterfront living and then Hoquiam. In the 1Bs, Mossrock 56, Winlock nothing. Marshall Brockway at 9 carries, 116 yards and a touchdown. Luke Cooper, 97 yards and 4 touchdowns on 11 carries. No Winlock stats. Mossrock still rolling, looking good. Oakville 50, Muckleshoot 36. Gio Rodas, 9-17, 212 yards, 115 rushing yards, 6 total touchdowns. And Michael,
No.
Michelle?
Yep.
Perron?
Try again.
Just go. Just say it.
Michel Perron.
Michel Perron.
Took a kickback for the second straight week. Love to hear it. The 1B League apparently gets 6 bids to the crossover. What? Why?
I don't know. Last year they got 3.
You didn't read the part that says so nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Like, I've been just operating on the idea because usually it's at the most it changes like 1 spot per year, right? It goes like odds and evens. So we've been operating on the assumption that it would be 3 spots, and on which base Mossy Rock would win, Naso would be second, and Winlock would be third. And just I got an email when Skylar Davis, Oakville's coach, sent his score, and he was like, "Yeah, just by the way, I listened to the Sports Dump, and yeah, we got 6 bids, so everyone's going through, except for that league has 7 teams, so." Winless Muckleshoot Tribal is playing winless Sound Christian for the last crossover spot.
Did this email also tell you that they were a Nigerian prince and they had a great investment opportunity for you?
No, he told me his team's stats and their score and gave me a couple quotes, like a really good score report. Thanks, Skylar Davis.
All right. Mossrock probably has the league won already. Best of luck to them in this goddamn labyrinth of a crossover that we're apparently looking at. This podcast brought to you by AmeriCool Heating and Cooling. Kody, when is the last time you were either too hot or too cool? And statistically, how would you fix it?
I'm just going to say I haven't got to that unit yet.
All right.
Statistically, I think the best probability would to make a trip down to AmeriCool Heating and Cooling.
You're goddamn
and
right.
distribute my options binomially.
Yeah, I can see why you got a C+ on that test.
Visit.
You know, if I'm like only half listening, that makes sense.
Yeah, and you're like, God, this guy knows his shit. And you're like, wait a minute.
Binomial means too hot and too cold at the same time, right?
We haven't gotten to the AmeriCool section yet, Josh. Lay off.
How many weeks are you in this class?
Halfway through the quarter.
Visit west.americoolonline.com to learn more about AmeriCool heating and air conditioning. Your comfort is their business. Unless you're Kody, in which case your business is nonsense.
homework.
Hey, C's get degrees, man.
Go
But
Blazers.
hopefully not but hopefully not too many degrees, or you will need to call AmeriCool to fix your air conditioner. You can call
Or not
their,
enough degrees.
You can call their 24/7 emergency service line at 360-948-2355. Grid picks? You guys want to look at some grid picks?
I just want to preface this with
Not particularly.
if you've wanted a week full of huge games that matter with huge playoff implications and intrigue, just maybe watch volleyball this week and come back to the crossovers.
Not a lot of variation in these picks.
We got to talk about last week.
Yeah, what happened?
Or
Yeah,
last
Dylan-
week?
Has Dylan
It was
suggested
tough.
we
There
skip
was
that?
you know what happens to the best
Dylan
of
went
us?
5 and 8.
I think that's the worst week of the year for me, even the weird week 1.
I think that's worse than Chad pulled week 1.
Did you call Global Septic and be like, just flush me, boys?
You know, I should do that.
I'm now
Bring a porta potty here.
Dylan, I believe you were too cold.
I'm 3 big games behind Dylan now and
Brutally
gaining
cold.
speed.
I don't even know if AmeriCool can help, even if it's that cold. But
Jordan went 12-1 last week. Good for him.
Yeah.
Josh and Jordan and Chad and former WFS AD Jeff Johnson all called the Centralia over Hoquiam game. Good for them. Let's see. Overall this season, Josh and I are 69-18. Dylan is
Up a week.
up a week. What? Oh, they're updated. Okay. Josh and I are 78-22. Dylan is 72-28. Kody 69-31.
Nice.
Jordan with a commanding 83-17 lead, and Chad is 54-46. This week's guest is Centralia volleyball coach Marty Smith. That's fun.
Yeah.
Adna Kalama. Everybody's got Kalama except Chad, who took Adna.
Because he's a good alum.
He is an Adna. He is a better alum than Kody and I, apparently. Forks at Napavine. Everybody took Napavine. Raymond South Bend at Morton White Pass in yet another Clash of the Hyphens.
Yeah. PL's got it locked up. Well, PL and Willapa Valley.
They did win the Hyphen trophy, which is, we determined, like a stick of firewood.
Yeah, something like that. Split in half.
Rainier at North Beach. Chad went Morton White Pass in the last one. Everybody took Rainier over North Beach. Everybody is taking WFS over Centralia, except Marty Smith,
As
perhaps
you
the
should.
best
Coach.
Centralia alumni, taking Centralia. Love to see it. Rochester at Tenino. Everybody took Rochester except Chad. Anyway, moving on.
You questioning Chad's logic?
Yes.
No. Onalaska at PL Valley. We've all got Onalaska. Jordan's got Onalaska. Chad and Marty both went PL Valley. Toledo at Stevenson. Everybody took Toledo, even though Stevenson quite a long ways.
Yeah. Just imagine, reaching the peak of your season and ending. Week 9 should be the best game of the season, and instead you're going to Stevenson.
I just has to stay overnight, man. Stevenson's beautiful.
Not a tough place to play. It is beautiful, though.
Yeah,
I can
goddamn
second
right
that.
it is.
It's
Got
gorgeous
Highway
drive.
14 out there. Whew. Mossy Rock at Oakville. Everybody's got Mossy Rock. Tahola at Winlock. Everybody's got Winlock. Are we sure Tahola's bad?
Tahola has 1 win in the past 2 years. They are going to a crossover, though.
What are we doing? And Tahoma at Tumwater. Dylan went to Homa. Everybody else went Tumwater.
That could be.
Dylan trying to
Giving
make
the
up,
4A the
trying to
benefit of the
make up
doubt.
some
Yeah,
ground here, aren't you?
it's late. I got to try.
I
So-
texted Josh and I was like, is it late enough in the year to start making drastic picks so I can try and catch Dylan now that I'm only 3 games back from him, but he
I
never got
think
back
this
to me.
is 100% the time.
I almost took PWV over on Alaska just in case.
Let's see. Some other stuff we got going on. District Golf. Von Wasson was 5th.
Yeah. Had a not great day on the first day. at
It was
District.
pouring rain.
And then the
At
second day
least the
was pouring
second day.
rain.
I'm not sure about the first, but the weather was
also
a factor.
just the GSHL cleaned out in district golf. Which,
Isn't like Woodland usually pretty good?
so Woodland was pretty good, and then their coach moved to Columbia River, Aaron Blackwelder. So he's the coach of Columbia River, who consequently took 3 of the top 4 spots at the district tournament. Washougal is also really good this year. Hawkinson put 3 in the top 15. So there are 21 bids to state, and 15 of them went to the south.
wow. Do you think Von Wasson will be okay?
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Tumwater's Braden Conrad and Nolan Campbell made the cut. WFS Weston Potter and Black Hills' Jack Cussler also made the cut. This was the cut to state, not just the cut.
So
Okay.
everyone went. Literally
Yeah.
everybody from the league went to districts, and then all but the top 40 hit the cut on Monday.
All right. There will be shuffling around the C2BL volleyball standings. Adna and Rainier are possibly playing for the league title, even though Adna is ranked number 1 in the RPI standings.
Yes.
I follow the RPI standings.
Nice. You see, they made some cross country standings for that one guy.
We talked
Shout
about
out
it last
that one
week.
guy.
I loved it.
His comment made me so happy on that post. I don't even remember what it was.
He was just like, "Thank you, King," or
I just
something
remember
like
the
that.
pure joy.
Just let's go with like 18 O's.
That guy was just walking around his high school, just beaming all day long. Let's see. Adna Rainier playing for a league title. Napvine and Tootle playing for third. And Klamath, Onalaska, and Winlock are all fighting for the final 2 spots at the district tournament.
Yeah.
District starts Saturday.
It's Kalama, Onalaska, Winlock, and Toledo. There's 4 teams going for 3 spots there.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And
those
district
are
starts Saturday.
like 11 and 1:30 or 11:30 and 1.
It's the first,
Something
the first
kinda
round.
weird.
So they've cut it down to it used to be they hosted at 4 sites and it was the top 2 in each league, and they've cut it down to just the winners.
Mhm.
So the first rounds are 11 and 1, and then the second rounds are going to be 2:30 and 4, something like that.
Yeah. And the reason that possibly is in parentheses for Adna Rainier, the cleanest outcome tonight is Adna wins, they remain unbeaten, they win the league. There is a possibility where Rainier wins and and Tootle beats Napavine, and then Adna Rainier and Tootle are all 8-1
And
top.
and,
And then
tiebreakers happen somehow.
anybody's guess there.
All right. In the 2A EVCO, Centralia and Aberdeen play tomorrow. The winner avoids the pigtail. Aberdeen took their first meeting in 5 sets, and this exact same scenario is also happening in soccer.
Yep. Aberdeen and Centralia actually aren't tied in soccer. Centralia lost to Black Hills in a bit of an upset their last game, but now they're a game back. So if they win, then they'll be tied up with a tiebreaker, I believe. Though also, I wouldn't know soccer if it hit me in the head.
That's true.
So,
That's what happened to your nose.
Yeah.
Tumwater and Black Hills are number 1 and 2 from the EVCO. Is that soccer, volleyball, or both?
Volleyball.
That's volleyball.
Mossy Rock finished its league season 12-0 and is the number 1 seed from the Columbia Valley, which is sending 19 teams to the district tournament.
No, but the 1Bs do the thing that remember where they have it's a ladder. So the number 1 seed gets to buy all the way to the semifinals.
Yes.
So we're not going to get a Mossy Rock game for another 2 weeks.
So if they win,
they're in state.
they're in state and in the district tournament final. If they lose, they have to win 2 games.
Yeah, but
including
I said
with the second
we
being the
won't
third
get
place
we
game.
won't get a score a match from Mossy Rock until next week.
I think all those final games are on November 4th, but
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure.
And then in the 2B girls soccer situation, Napvine is playing Kalama tonight for the C2BL title.
That game just kicked off. Actually, it's 6 p.m.
Okay. Onalaska is currently 3rd. Adna's 4th. Toledo is 9th. What a drop we've got there. But probably can play itself into the district tournament with a win. What?
So it's top 8 make it. These are just the local team. Recapping the local teams. Winlock's out.
Okay.
I think Toledo with a win gets into a tie that it would go ahead on tiebreakers, but I'm not entirely sure.
Saturday, we've got 2B district cross country at Rainier. 2B district volleyball first and second rounds at the C2BL champ and also Raymond. And then the 2A district soccer pigtail game will be at the GSHL team.
So it's starting.
It's here. What are you guys covering Friday night?
I'll be at the Swamp Cup.
Good.
PWV on Alaska.
Oh, good.
And Dylan's at
I have
Scatter
not
Creek.
checked the schedule. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's
Scatter
good.
Creek
I know I'll also be at Napavine tomorrow.
Yes,
Sketchy Creek.
to 9 Rochester.
Yeah.
And we'll have Matt Beatty out at the Tumwater Tahoma game.
Are you sending Crawler to the Swamp Cup too?
Yeah.
Smart.
He
All
gets
right.
all the photos. They're gonna give away a car probably again, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's the I-5. It's a big deal, man. They donate a ton of money to local schools.
Okay. Thank you.
I-5 Toyota, the
I didn't win their scholarship.
unmentioned sponsor of this podcast. And they sponsored Kody as well and his
No, they did not.
continuing education. Didn't you get their scholarship you just said?
I said I applied for it and I didn't get it.
Oh, well, how dare they?
What grade did you get in that test again?
Yeah,
You sure you, after hearing you do
You guys
your
never got a
statistics
C on
homework,
a statistics test before? Jeez. Brutal out here.
kind of seeing why you didn't get that scholarship.
It's all right. I skipped most of my statistics classes in college, and I most certainly got at least one C. Probably mostly C's.
I still made $9,000 in scholarships, just not for my 5 Toyota.
That's pretty good.
I'll play.
That's a lot of roofs.
Got the Faye scholarship.
Oh, that's a
Faye
good one.
family.
All right. Anything else you guys want to hit before we get out of here?
You should follow all of the incredible stuff Cody's doing on Instagram. They come.
Yeah.
They come in video form now.
Yeah, I'm starting to figure out how to make reels. It's a work in progress, but we'll get
Sick.
better.
700 people are following, and if you're not one of them,
We're up to 700?
and
It's
if
like
you're not,
715.
yeah, and if
How
you're
much
not,
of an increase is that statistically?
It's been about 100 each week. So
Okay.
and if
You're
you
now
guys
at 720 because I just realized I was not following.
and if you're not following,
But I am now. I am
If
now.
you're not following, come on, what are you doing, man?
Dylan's been in here for weeks. Like,
and follow us so you can be there when we hit 1,000 and we send Dylan through this lifetime table.
I could see why you
I should
aren't flipping
unfollow
the
and
table
be
now.
the 1,000th follower.
Or we can have the 1,000th follower go through the table.
Ooh, now there's something.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I don't know if we'll find a volunteer for that.
I think we're done for the week. We'll be back next week to discuss playoffs
Playoffs.
in detail.
Too many players.
Thanks for listening.